Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Wrestling Talks and Thoughts. I'm your host, Saheem the Dream.
With your boy, Jay McMahon.
Okay. Um, so we have some very disturbing news that's really causing some ripples throughout the wrestling community. Major news, horrible news. Uh, this is not This is not good news, man. WWE Level on YouTube says WWE sucks, man. Yeah,
I agree.
the almighty CRT commented, I can't believe Braun is gone from WWE. Shocking. Yes, that is the news. And some more news. So guys, we've had some breaking news concerning WWE releases recently, and the news that we have that you guys know about right now that's going on is it's been reported that Braun Strowman and Buddy Murphy and Aleister Black have been released from the company,
along with Ruby Riott, Lana, and Santana Garrett.
Wow. Jay, you wanna start this one off?
Honestly, for the first time in the 20 plus years that you've known me, I think I'm done. Like, I've never felt this way about wrestling in my life. Like, I've never went glimpses in periods of time of not watching it, but I think this would be the first time in my life that I really take a step back. Like, I have no plans on watching AEW tonight. I have no plans on watching SmackDown on Friday, nor Raw, NXT, SmackDown, AEW for next week. I was hyped about TakeOver. Like, I watched NXT last night. I was hyped about TakeOver. Not anymore. Because here's the part that bothers me the most.
Yeah.
You keep complaining about you don't have talent or fans are not invested. Fans, not really fans are not invested, but you don't have talent, or you keep looking for brand new talent, and you wonder why the fans are getting frustrated because you have these guys who people want to see. They made their names either elsewhere or they're big names. They're like, yo, they could be pushed, like they could be in this spotlight, but yeah. You fall back to the people that you're comfortable with, and that's perfectly fine. But then when you go and you release these talent, well, there's talent, but yet you have other useless talent that's on the roster. You know what I'm saying? Like, now I see if you didn't have nobody, it's like, well, that's the best we can do. But there's talent that you sit here and you scratch your head like, wait, you release this guy, but this person's still employed. You release that person, but this person's still here. Like, it's just mind-boggling to me whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? And you can't even say like they're not. You know what I'm saying? You release people that's not even in storylines, or you have nothing for them because Braun outshined Drew and Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania Backlash. But then you let him go. Aleister Black, you had him do these vignettes for about 3-4 weeks. You have him come back and hit Biggie with the Black Mass. He was off of SmackDown last week, and boom, he's gone.
Yeah.
So you can't say you didn't have nothing for them because you literally decided, all right, we're gonna do something, but then you just release them, and it's just sad and frustrating as a wrestling fan as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree with you. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're catching us on YouTube. If you're catching us on Facebook, hit the like button, give us a thumbs up, drop a comment in the comment section below. You are catching us live. If you're catching us later, hit the comment section up below. Share your thoughts with us. We're going to discuss it. We're going to post your thoughts up on the screen in the comment section. Just give us a like. Drop a comment. We will read your comments. We want to know what you guys think about these WWE releases. We want to know if you guys feel very disappointed in the WWE. If you guys feel disheartened, is this an all-time low for the WWE? Is this their lowest point? We also want to know how do you guys feel about the current state of wrestling? What are they doing, being that they are a major franchise in the wrestling community? How much damage can this cause to their company? We want to know what you guys think about we want to know what you guys feel. We want to hear from you guys. We want you guys to post up in the comment section below. We will post your comments down low, and we will read them out. We definitely going to share our views. The Mighty says they're shocking. He also says Murphy was a huge talent. He also posts. He says, all I'm saying is Liv better stay blonde to keep her job."
And even with her, like now she's gonna get lost in the shuffle. You know what I'm saying? It's just horrible. Like now, and here's my thing. Like people like Aleister Black. Not necessarily Braun. Braun, built his star power on the main roster, but guys like Aleister Black, Ricochet, Murphy, these guys definitely has made huge name for themselves on NXT. Bobby Roode as well. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like we learn about them, we invested in them, we're like, oh, this guy can go. This guy can potentially be a top star. And right. then you bring them to the main roster, and we're like, all right, well, boom, I can't wait to see this person fight that person, this person fight that person, and then it's like we don't see those matches because they're either in hiding or they're not being done. Nothing's being done with them. And it's just like, so what's the point? Like, and Aleister Black, he wanted to go back to NXT. Yeah. Vince told him no. Now you sit here and you negotiate with Zelina Vega to bring her back, but then you release Aleister Black. You think she wants to come back to WWE now that you released her, and then you released her husband, so now she's gonna be there by herself?
Yeah.
It's
I'm confused. I'm highly confused because my mind goes into what is the plan? Like, absolutely. Like, what is the plan? What are they doing? I'm gonna hit the comment section up. The Almighty says, all right. He says Vince loves blonde. Vince loves blondes. That's why Dana Brooke be around all. That's why Dana Brooke has been around all these years. Laugh out loud. He also says that Lana is good. She will go to AEW since Miro's over there. Ruby Riott could go to Impact. He also says dropped like that, the way they were dropped. Sean Key says, "Oh, I'm here for all my comments." I'm baffled. Okay, so you mentioned Braun outshining Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. Braun outshined Roman Reigns when Roman Reigns was getting that push and he was feuding with Roman. Braun Strowman outshined Roman, and he showed how much of a great heavyweight competitor he is and how much of an asset he is to the company. And I'm just so confused as to why you're releasing people like Samoa Joe, who outshined AJ Styles at one point, who outshined Brock Lesnar, who outshined, all these competitors. And again, you make these quotes about reaching for the brass ring and saying that, if they can get over, then they will be pushed to the moon. And then you have these superstars who come in, they get over, they get, they're being supported by the fan base, and then you let them go. You give them these, horrible gimmicks. You push them to the side. This is ridiculous. I'm going to hit the comment section below because I'm getting a lot of comments dropping in. The Almighty says, Mr. Tony Khan got the phone ready. You got some talent to call up right now. right now, sir. Anthony Cobb says, I'm just getting the news. This is crazy. I thought you knew already, Ant. Um, the almighty CRT says Braun just had a WWE title match and a big Mania match just in a total of 1 month. Like, what the F? Absolutely. Like, Drew Gulak Drew Gulak got released too. I mean, come on, man. Listen.
I didn't know that, but see that I guess that makes sense because I mean, I like Drew. Don't get me wrong, I like Drew, but it's like that will make sense because we know Drew they have nothing for Drew.
Right. See, but this is the problem, right? You have a person like Otis who's a great entertainer, but a person like Drew Gulak is being sacrificed for the likes of Otis. A person like Drew Gulak is being sacrificed for a person like Shorty G. Now, don't get me wrong, Shorty G has potential, and I feel like a person like Shorty G also can be utilized way better than the way he's used. But you could have made a tag team out of Shorty G and Drew Gulak or something like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the way they're being used. It's the way the talent is being used, and then you're not using them properly, and then you release them, and then you create stupid angles and stupid vignettes and all these. You use up all this airtime to let people like Charlotte Flair cut these freaking promos and hog the spotlight, over people like Rhea Ripley. You don't give a lot of the talent proper airtime, to really display their talent and allow the good talent to sometimes take breaks on certain shows because sometimes you don't need to have the WWE champion there on a major show. Just have them cut a vignette and then allow the good talent to display their skills on matches, on Raw and SmackDown, and then have the WWE champion show up and have a match, maybe the following SmackDown or the following Raw. You know what I'm saying? Like, utilize your time better. And they're not really balancing their time properly. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have Roman come out, cut a small promo, and then have Cesaro and Shinsuke have a match, or have Drew Gulak and Aleister Black have a match, to preserve time, But yet you want to sit there and have these people come out doing these hokey, crazy gimmicks, doing stupid stuff, and you're wasting time, eating up time, and you're pushing these. And then it's funny is because like you have them do these crazy vignettes and do these have these matches and these angles that at times go nowhere. They go absolutely nowhere. Like the Randy Orton feud and the Randy Orton Fiend feud flopped. It completely flopped. Like, absolutely. It's like, where were they going with this? What happened? Why were they doing what they were doing? You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense. I'm at the comment section below. Drew Gulak became the first ever person to get released twice in about 1 year. The Almighty says Slapjack also been reportedly released by WWE, has not been confirmed officially yet. So he's on the list to be released. But Braun Strowman and Aleister Black, completely pissed. We seen how WWE was handling Aleister Black. We see that Aleister was pretty much headed down that path. What happened?
Yo, so I'm reading these articles. Mm-hmm. So it says Vince McMahon trends huge after recent wave of WWE releases. WWE released several superstars from the main roster today, and fans are not very happy about this decision at all. Now Vince McMahon's name is trending on Twitter for this reason. Braun Strowman, Aleister Black, Lana, Ruby Riott, Buddy Murphy, and Santana were all cut today. Some of those people wanted to leave the company. Ready for this one?
Yeah.
Hashtag surviving Vince McMahon is trending along with the chairman's name as well.
Wow.
Are now commenting about the company's decision to fire so many people in the wake of the massive plot. Surviving Vince McMahon.
Surviving, you know what? How about this? How about this? Yeah, you know, I mean, this is
He's that is the reports that Vince may be selling WWE.
why? Because he don't want to leave it. He don't want to leave it. You know what? And I think that could be the reason why he's. I think that's the reason why he has not really been so hands on with NXT. That's probably why, like, you know, he's kind of been in a he hasn't really been making so many decisions as far as NXT is concerned. Kind of makes sense because he might just let NXT be its own thing.
Right.
Yeah, I think hashtag surviving Vince Maggle. I think, you know, I think we've seen the downfall of WWE. You know, it's like, listen, all this stuff started with John Cena. All this stuff started with John Cena. All this stuff started with, and I'm not blaming Cena, but I'm just looking at how things were ran during that era. You had this mindset that you thought, okay, I'm going to give you whatever I want to give you. And you're going to take it, you're going to like it, and this is what this is. And because you're fans and you're going to keep buying this product and you like wrestling. So we dictate to you what you should have. And the whole point of, you know, and the thing about it is the reason why we support it is because the guys you put over, the guys you put in the forefront is who we liked. So, you know, it's just like, it's crazy because it's like, you thought that this is how to run things. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna push this guy out. You're gonna like him. We're gonna shove him down your throat. You're gonna eventually like him. And I think we've seen this coming because the simple fact that he kept doing it. He did it for a decade, and to the point that even his own talent got very upset, very disgruntled about it. You know, a person like CM Punk got disgruntled about it, and now it's like, you know, he's pretty much in a place where he's just like, if it's not working the way I want it to work, then so be it. I'm going to let the company go. I'm going to sell it.
My whole thing is this. I want to know, like, how do they determine who you release or who you get cut? Like, is it their contract? Is it the fact you have nothing for them? Like, who's in charge of that and who make? I mean, we know Vince makes the final decision, but who comes up with the names? Like I said, is it contract? Is it talent? Because a lot of these names if I was in a position of I was running WWE and a lot of these names that was brought across my table, I'll be like, yo, you're fired just for even bringing his name to me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, and let's just look at it like this. And like I said, I mean, maybe it's my personal feelings and my personal opinion, but Samoa Joe, Velveteen Dream, Braun Strowman, Aleister Black, those are four guys that there should be no reason why they are no longer employed with the company. You know what I'm saying? No reason whatsoever. Now, but then, so Samoa Joe, Velveteen Dream, Aleister Black, Braun Strowman. Those are four guys that should still be with the company because their talent is through the roof.
Right.
And I don't want to jinx nobody, but Ricochet maybe on that same because it's like that's just how Vince is going, and it's just like it's sad because if we think about the history of NXT, Velveteen Dream is the biggest name that has been released from NXT. Other than that, everyone else has been in NXT is pretty much safe. That's why they don't want to go to the main roster because of stuff like this. And you think and and WWE is a brotherhood, especially NXT. NXT is a real close knit family, so they're gonna look at it. Oh wait, so if I go to the main roster, that could potentially happen to me. Now I'm good right here. You understand? And this is what's gonna catapult NXT to being the bigger brand.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely going to catapult NXT to being a bigger brand. Vince is getting high. I don't know. Vince is on crack. He's smoking. He's smoking something. He's sniffing something. But I think it's so funny because it's like it even sends you. It even helps us understand, like, throughout all the years we've watched WWE and we've seen wrestlers like RVD who's always been over. We've seen people like Booker T who's always been over. Never really get the proper push. You begin to we already knew, but we see it even now. But what we do know for sure is that Vince McMahon does not watch any other product but WWE. He's not interested in watching any other product like Ring of Honor, Impact, AEW. He never watched WCW. He didn't care for it. I think he did in the beginning, but he stopped. But we see that he's like Vince is smelling his own farts. Like, his head is so far up his butt. Like, only thing he sees is his product. And again, Sean was saying in the comment section that WWE is not the end all be all. Like, it's not. And it's so crazy because about a day ago, I was saying to myself, you know what? I'm gonna really start watching AEW. I'm gonna start watching AEW. I'm gonna start watching Impact, and just start really getting a feel for other promotions, because the state of Raw and the state of SmackDown was so bad this Friday. I was just like, what the hell am I watching? Like, after the Usos and the Street Profits, I was just I didn't care for the show anymore. Like, Bianca Belair came out. I was happy about that. But then everything else, I was just kind of like, and Apollo Crews, but I was just like, it was just the way the show was put together. I was just kind of like, what are we doing here? Like, what am I doing? Why? Where's my plan going?
Like, even Apollo Crews Kevin Owens match, like, where'd that come from? Like, there was no build. Like, nobody even knew that that he was even coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn. Like, okay, so Kevin Owens getting a title match against Apollo. Why? He was just in a Fatal Boy match a couple weeks ago. Like, so what? He didn't stand out. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So.
Anthony Cobb says nobody is safe, bro. Osmos is next. AJ Styles might be next. Sean Keys says he agrees. Sean also says Raw won't be much better, to be honest. No, he said Raw wasn't much better, to be honest. That's what he meant to say.
Honestly, even for the next show, like I said, I have no intent on watching SmackDown this Friday. I have no intent on watching Raw on Monday. So for the show next week, it'll just be, what I'm saying, like, if something comes up, like, I'll just go off whatever notification I get, but I'm not watching it.
Yeah. All right. Trav wants to join us live. We'll add Trav in. Trav,
what up, bro?
What's going on?
Hey, I can't stay on long. I'm at work, man. I just wanted to get on here and say this, bro. I was baffled. I was actually on the phone, and it came through my phone, and I looked, and I saw Braun Strowman release. And you know how you wake up from a dream, you have to rub your eyes and make sure you saw it, right? And I literally rubbed my eyes like, wait, Braun Strowman. Like, yo, what the? My whole thing is this right here. I hope Braun Strowman, Samoa Joe, Aleister Black. I think Aleister Black is done. Of course, we kind of know. We saw Aleister Black coming eventually because they didn't have nothing to do with him. But Braun Strowman, and we was just talking about last week how you couldn't continue to skip that bullet of putting him in the main, putting the title on him. But yo, I'm with y'all. Surviving Vince McMahon is real right now. If they're gonna sell a company, this is the wrong way to go about it. Right now, you have nobody worth talking about to put in a title picture, let alone a fight. So for
Right.
me, bro, I'm with you, Jay. I won't. I don't think I'm watching Raw or SmackDown. I'm gonna catch SmackDown to see what they're gonna do with Roman, and that's it. But we all know what's gonna happen. One or two things gonna happen. One, they plotting on bringing a lot of Hall of Famers back to kind of fill in the slots. Or two, they just I hope they just releasing these guys to open up roster spots for injured players because right now it's outrageous, bro. So I can't stay on long, but I just want to get on here and say that I don't know what WWE has planned, but AEW, if y'all listening, anybody with AEW listening, y'all got my attention. I will watch tonight. I will record it tonight, watch it, and see what happens. But that it's crazy right now.
All right, Greg. Thanks for joining. You know, I'm just like saying to myself, where are they going to go from here? Where are they going to go from here? What are they going to actually do as far as, because again, like Trav, you made an excellent point. Um, you said they don't really have anybody else to put in the heavyweight picture. So we're supposed to watch Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre wrestle for about one whole month again, and feud for one whole month again up until SummerSlam. Until I guess Drew McIntyre gets his title back. Because if Drew McIntyre gets his title back at Money in the Bank, I'm halfway out the door too. You know, when Drew McIntyre won on Raw, I said I wanted Kofi to win, and I wanted Kofi to win because that would again not make his world title reign look like a fluke. It would again put him back in the picture of being possibly having another run, a more serious run. Because again, your first run is your first run just to see how it is. And there's other performers who knock it out the park when they get their first title run. But then there's other performers that when they have their first title run, it's like they just getting their feet wet, but then they have other runs that just pans out so much better. Like CM Punk, his first title runs were not the best. Like they weren't eye-catching. It was like he had the title, he was cool, yay. He had the title for a lot of indie fans. But when he had his last WWE title run, that was by far not only his best title run, but one of the best title runs in WWE history. So again, it's like, what are we doing here? Like, what is the point? And I can also see that it could be Vince really being kind. And I mean kind in the sense that he feels like, I don't know what to do with Braun because he's a great talent. Don't know what to do with Velveteen. Don't know what to do with the Aleister Black. And to have all these fans mad at me, let me let them go so they can go to a different promotion that can handle them better. But on the other hand, the bad part about that is that WWE is the highest profile wrestling company, and it's the big stage, and it's like it's almost like you kind of don't want them to be on a big stage because you don't see them there. And it's sad because you see Otis as major talent. Otis, it's crazy to me.
I'm getting frustrated because Aleister Black's actually live right now, and I'm trying to stream.
Send me the link. If you send me the link, I can pull it up.
It's on Instagram.
It's on Instagram. Only on Instagram. Let me see if it's on Facebook.
Hold on. All right, hold on. Wait 1 second. I think I found it. He posted the link. Hold on. I had a ton of fun hanging out with you guys. Come on, Alistair. Wait. Don't go yet. /Thea Trinidad. Fuck.
Then we gotta freaking sit through another damn Drew McIntyre title run. It's like, oh Jesus Christ, man. I'm at this point. At this point, I'm really like, I don't care about Drew. I don't care. I know some wrestling fans are gonna be like, but Drew's okay. He's all right. He's whatever. I don't care. I don't care about Drew. I don't want to see Drew McIntyre, whatever. I don't care about Drew. Drew is barely nailing it. It's like whatever. I don't want to see Drew McIntyre. I do not want to see Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre. I don't want to see him no more. Now I'm pissed because this is how fans hate wrestlers who have potential to be a lot more accepted and loved when you take them and you just throw them in the spotlight and you don't give other talent who deserve feuds and deserve to be in the spotlight the same opportunity to mix it up with them, and you just take them and you shove them down the throats. Like, this is how fans get mad and be like, I can't stand John Cena, or I can't stand seeing like that's one of the things that made me kind of like not like Austin during his last run. It was like, like when Austin was the man, like Austin would win every match. Like, there was not one match Austin really lost. Like, Austin went on a winning streak for like the longest. Oh, this is Alistair Black.
Crazy at the same time as well. It's a crazy high trend going on. It says 400.
Thank you, Alberto G, for joining us. He says, so now Roman literally has to carry the company on his back by himself. God forbid he gets injured. Oh, right. Exactly. God forbid Roman gets injured. Like, what? Like,
all right. So, all
right, let me stop. But I want to say this real quick. Again, it's like, God forbid Roman gets injured, but then this is the thing. The thing is that one of the things I look at also is he releasing major talent so that a person like Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre can shine? Or are you taking major talent out of the picture so that we're forced to look at Drew McIntyre and Roman?
No, what's going to happen is you're going to follow the people that you like. Like, I mean, Brett going to WCW, a lot of fans went to WCW to follow Brett. I was watching WCW prior to, but then when Brett showed, I'm like, oh, snap. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, even before that, WCW really started rocking and skyrocketing when Scott Hall and Kevin Nash showed up.
Right.
So people who love Aleister Black, who love Braun Strowman, wherever they go, fans are gonna follow them. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though, all right, cool, granted, Miro, aka Rusev, he went to AEW. He was a decent name, but he wasn't as big as these guys because Rusev had the United States Championship. He didn't reach his full potential, but he at least had opportunity. Aleister didn't get nothing on the main roster. No kind of title. You know what I'm saying? Ricochet got the U.S. title for a little bit, but after that, like, he's been jobbering. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't change his outfit like 4 times already. So it's sad. Like, so yeah, wherever they go, fans are gonna follow. And if I decide to start watching wrestling again, I'm probably gonna do the same thing.
Yeah. I think AEW is right now is looking like the way to go, and I could definitely see them actually signing. I could see them signing him.
Of course, it makes sense.
He said he can't hear Aleister. Is your volume all the way up with Aleister?
Yeah.
You never really truly know why things end the way they did, but all I can tell you is that from my point of view, that I was always given was that Vince was always.
Can you hear?
I did well on television.
I can hear him a little bit. He doesn't sound loud enough.
Yeah, he's low. He's real low.
Be on the main roster versus when he wasn't on the team, right? And
if you send me the link,
where that problem lied, I don't know.
Go to
realize that. When I wasn't in Heyman's wing, Heyman.
All right, let me see.
But it was always, at the end of the day, when a decision is made, the decision is made. And like
it's on Facebook?
No, Twitch. I just sent it to you.
One of the things that I actually
okay.
Is I don't know if you've ever noticed, but I didn't really have a lot of control over those. I was just new in the main roster, and I didn't want to be that guy that like complained about everything. Stanley Barnes, I think.
It's on Facebook?
No, Twitch. I just sent it to you.
One of the things that I actually
okay.
I I could have control over is certain words. The idea that Alistair had this like small ability to look into the future. He had like precognitive abilities. So I would use my
All right, I got it.
in my background. So, when I wrestled the Singh brothers, I had Pink in the background. And I think with Buddy, I had like white and white and goldish with yellowish light in the background. So that would hint.
You gotta wait till this. So. This ad is up. All right. Yeah. Who cares, Photoshop?
So, Alistair Black, I tried to have a lot of like Easter eggs, Easter eggs into like my backstage promos and stuff like that. I never wanted it to be. I wanted to give something that people could unravel. So even in my ring gear, my wrestling gear, what I used to do is like the reason why I wear so many jackets is because I would literally take tarot cards and I would lay tarot cards and I would pick a deck. I would pick cards from the tarot card and I would have Hannah put it on my back with the with how Alistair would feel, and like people would ask me about like, why is your gear green? Well, so for instance, the way I interpreted it, right, when I wrestled Buddy 3 times in a row, I think I went from black to black on black to being like green to black on black to going back to like having that like olive drab, and I think I ended with like that like army green, shiny army green. So Alistair would get so mad, so angry with him, that he turned green, and I always wanted to have like my my gear to reflect Alistair's mood, or like how Alistair would interpret it. And like all the colors were significant for how Alistair felt in that moment. So black on black was basically full on war mode. If I was wearing black on black, that was me being like, that was Alistair Black really being angry and aggressive and much more like on the money. And then the green represented Alistair being poisoned. He was poisoned with anger. So that's kind of why I wore the greens, because anger is poison. Like take it from a guy who, especially in his younger years, had a lot of like anger issues. It can infect you, it can poison you. So that's why green he couldn't handle. I would wrestle like slightly different as well. I would be more aggressive, more striking, less on the ground, stuff like that. And that's the funny thing, right? I did all that while having shackles on. All these like things that I created and made and done when I had shackles on. And so now I don't have shackles anymore, which I'm really happy to an extent, because that's the blessing in all of this. And I'm really thankful for WWE to give me a platform to kind of like allow me to explore that a little further as well. I've always taken like great pleasure in being able to create like, my character and, especially the stuff with the Easter eggs. The reason why I came out with that demon leg, for instance, right? I started doing that when I came back after Johnny attacked me, the parking lot angle, right? A lot of stuff happens in that parking lot, guys. So never go there. Sorry, I gotta get my my energy in, right? So I felt like, the one thing you have to understand about Alistair Black was basically the devil with memory loss. He knew that, he'd done something wrong and he felt that he needed to pay for it. And I always thought it was an interesting concept. Like, what if, when Lucifer fell to earth and he SmackDown account. What if he woke up with like, how did I get here? That was kind of the idea that I had behind Alistair. I used a lot of layers in that, but so the more angry Alistair became, the more he looked like parts of him were made out of like a demon, had like demon flesh. That's why the kick that was like fleshy looking and stuff like that. So so feedback game, but I think was actually my call. I felt that it would be good for me to continue with the eye because. I got taken out. My eye was black, and then when I came back, I was like, I don't want to, just play it off. Plus, the more research I did on like cult leaders in pop culture and stuff like that, they always had like a weird aesthetic trait, which was like they had like really white like hair, or they had light eyes and stuff like that. So I wanted to kind of take that with me, in their character because it was a good reference and. I think the glasses made it complete because the funny thing is, like, those are actually my glasses. I have driving glasses nowadays. I've like very, very minor, but I wear them and I remember Woods going, "Hey, you look like a cult leader." I was like, "Oh, really? Cool." So that's kind of how that came to be. I thought the glasses were just a nice touch. But yeah, so that's why Aleister Black, the big fleshy jackets and stuff like that, all had to do with either the importance of the match or the anger that he was in. The more angry he was, the more he represented like looking like a demon almost. So, stuff like that. And I did tons of like Easter eggs because I never wanted to present you guys with something that didn't have layers. And a lot of the promos that I did was good because they had layers. A lot of the promos weren't my writing, unfortunately. I always felt like, do you guys remember? Do you guys remember the Money in the Bank promo that I did on AJ, where I stepped out of the dark? Did the promo step back in the dark? Well, that was the first time I actually kind of did like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna do what I want to do. If they get mad at me, they'll get mad at me. And that promo got like praise, crazy, and then they never went back to it. So it was always, it was difficult. Like, and the one thing I also want to say, right, don't get mad at our creative. Our creative tries are there, no longer there. Their creative tries their absolute hardest, and they're good people working there. There's good people. Very creative, talented people. I'm very thankful for our creative. I've always had a good relationship with Bruce and stuff like that. And like Bruce was also one of the people that tried to protect me in a lot of situations. And he doesn't know that I know, but I know. He wanted to get me out of the room, and he wanted to because like a lot of the consensus were no one moves like him, no one does what he does, no one has his intensity, which I was always thought that's the exact stuff that I focused on. Like, my style was a hybrid of traditional pro wrestling with like a new age style of like striking. I feel that if I may be so bold, I think in the last 5 years I've proven to be one of the more influential strikers of just in this generation, and I will continue to do so because obviously I'm not done. Gorilla Press, thank you very much for your subs, man. Thank you, dude. It's bitter, because I owe everything to WWE, and not to diminish my prior work, but obviously my prior work got me to the dance, and I think the last 2 years were slow death for me. I think that it was very hard to get despite numerous conversations that I've had with Vince, and everybody trying really hard, and I think it did numbers on my self-esteem too, because at one point you're like, well, the ratings are good, the numbers are good, the merch is good, why are we not, and it's like one of those things where they like, the word intrigue was always there. Oh, we find you very intriguing. I'm like, okay, good, let's present something then, let's do something. And I have thrown so many things at the wall because I keep creating characters and gimmicks and storylines over and over and over and over and over and over. Wow, DJ Run, thanks for the 25 mom, dude. Shit, holy fuck, thanks. Wow, damn. And it's I think my character, like the first conversation I ever had, funny thing is, like, I remember all these things, is like I said to Hunter, I said, look, I just want to be, all the metal bands that kids use to rebel against the system, against the parents. And as cliche as that sounds, it's relatable, right? Because everybody, especially nowadays, especially when you're young, it's so difficult to be understood by a different generation. I wanted people to, have the consensus of like understanding that my character was like a cool dude, and, like a mysterious guy, and at the same time, having a hard hitting style, but also having a sense of being relatable to the point of, I understand what this character's going through, because like Nigel, it was a character. There's like one of the funnest thing in the world is that there is generally a group of people that are convinced that I'm part of the Illuminati and that I sacrifice kids and stuff like that. That is absolutely by far my favorite thing, or one of my favorite things, because it makes no sense. You know what I mean? Like I remember that I think that there was this God, what's it called? There was this conspiracy group with a lot of subscribers that did this video on me. It's like, oh my God, look, he's wearing all the symbols and blah 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 blah. And my thing is like, for like the past 2 decades, I focused on conspiracies. Like, I know how conspiracies work, and that's how I got like an entire group of people to think that what I did was like authentic, which I think is great. I think that's amazing that I got people to generally believe that there was this like, this like authentic Illuminati satanic worship. And by the way, the Illuminati and satanic are two different things. Satanic is not devil worship; it's Luciferian. But, you can't tell these people anything. But it got to the point where they thought that, like, I have wind spirals on my arm, right? This is Baron. He's a wind god. He's an energy god. So there's wind coming out of his mouth. So people thought that this thing, because there's some weird, nutty conspiracy group out there that says that spiral tattoos is a way for people to, find other like child molesters and stuff like that. So like, whoa, it's right there, because people want to see what they want to see, specifically dumb people do. Like the funny thing is like I've been looking into conspiracy since I was 10 years old, so I know exactly how conspiracies work. And that's also how I got to the point where this company, that one was just, and then WWE had to kill that channel, because like they nearly sued them because they were slandering me. They were saying that I was a pedophile and stuff, and I was like fucking mind blowing. But at the same time, it's kind of funny that people are gullible enough to kind of like get into that. And I take pride that there is like a line that I walked for a very long time where people kind of went, is he not? Because of course a lot of these things, like, they have parallels with my actual life. In terms of like, the Dark Father is based on my childhood. And I'll get into that like at one point, not now, not this stream. But, it's, there's parallels of like that character, but obviously I'm not some fucking devil worshipping guy. I'm an atheist. I don't believe in anything. So it's weird for me to say that I would acknowledge the existence of a devil if I would not acknowledge the existence of a God, right? That you can't have one without the other. It just doesn't exist. So, Shadow, thank you for the subs, man. Appreciate it, dude. Oh, you got the bomber? Hell yeah. Appreciate that. Yeah, man. Thank you guys for supporting Black Mass Clothing as well, man. I really, really, really dig that. Man, I have so many good memories of like WWE. I have so many good memories of a lot of things. I'm really thankful for all of you. The fact that there's like over 8,000. Wow, D ranking, Jesus, 25. Holy shit, dude. Nomadic Vice, thank you. Appreciate that, dude.
Anthony
Savage
Cobbs,
Beast,
hilarious.
thank you. Silverback, thank you. I have so many good memories, man. I remember when I had that match with, I think the first time the world really took notice. But I never tell you, right? I wasn't really always super content with my debut match, because it didn't go the way it was supposed to go. But there's a long story. But I'm always thankful for Manny Andrade. He's an incredible wrestler. But I was never happy with my debut, because I feel that it wasn't what I wanted it to be. It wasn't what they wanted it to be. But the good thing about it is that we found ways to enhance it and build up from it, which I thought was great. I think that after my match with Dream, I remember, like, apparently that was when a lot of people in the wrestling world were like, "Whoa, okay, what's going on there?" And the cool thing is that was the first time they gave me complete freedom to just do my own match, and they put trust in me. And I think when I proved that I could do a good storytelling match and I could lead a match and, you know, take someone else and take them to the next level, you know, it proves that you can be more than just the star yourself. You can, you know, uplift other people too, which was great. You know, and like, you know, fast forward to the main roster. I think the last 3-4 months of me being in NXT when I tagged with Ricochet were probably professionally some of my favorite moments in wrestling. Me, because me and Trevor would have Raw on Monday, SmackDown on Tuesday, NXT on Wednesday, and one day off, Friday back on the road. And we did that for months. You know, we got so well oiled, and that's where like I had the most fun. Where I really felt like a professional wrestler. You know what I mean? I felt like a professional. You know, and I felt I was untouchable at that point. You could have thrown anything at me, and I would have been able to just like knock it out of the park. And you know, it's like you always have to work within the boundaries of what, you know, they give you. And I feel that is the true professional, right? If there's no cuffs and you can do whatever you want, you know, it's a different landscape. But if you're able to shine in a place where you have boundaries and you're surrounded by rules, and, you know, and I'm a big fan of having boundaries. I really do, because it forces me to be more creative. And you can shine there. I feel that's what makes, you know, that's right there is a testimony of being a professional. You know, I like one of the things I've always like loved wrestling. Like at the time, the Revival, the Pinnacle now, you know, because they were, you know, like me and yeah, me and them have a very same way of thinking when it comes to like upholding rules and stuff, and you know, making sure everything works within, because that's what makes it fun. You know, that's what makes that's what makes the competition fun. You know what I mean? Like, I think like that forced me to be creative in a very different way, and I've always liked that. I've always liked that part of like challenging myself, and I feel it's Bobby. Yes, Heyman pushed really hard for me. Yeah. I feel that's really made me like into like a much better, I can say it again, professional wrestler. You know what I mean? Because, you know, now I had to think, and a lot of times I had to think on my feet. A lot of times we just went out there and we just kind of like, you know, we just did things and like, oh guys, you got 3 minutes, go home. And we actually had a whole 10-minute thing planned, or the other way around. You have 4 minutes, guys. They just added 5 minutes, and now you have to think. You know, they did that with me and Buddy a couple times, where we're out there like, hey guys, you got an extra 5 minutes. You know, and you just have to figure it out. You know, and like I love that. I love that. I love being able to work on the fly. You just, you know, I thrive on that kind of stuff. It's just a crazy landscape, man. WWE, and everybody's experience is different. My experience was great. Last few years, obviously it is what it is. But what can I do? Do I sit and mope about it? Do I go, well, they never give me a good shot? Or like, you know, it is what it is. And you know, unfortunately, this was supposed to be my shot. That was what the consensus were. This is, you know, this is it. Like we're gonna push this character, and then, you know, this happens. So you can't, you know, like this is an everlasting, evolving, fluctuating business. And I'm very thankful for Vince and for Hunter and for Bruce and for Heyman and for like, you know, all the people that have always helped me out. You know, Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt, Rowan, you know, John, rest in peace. You know, just being surrounded by great people, and I think like Roman Reigns, you know, like honest to God, one of the fucking best locker room leaders I've ever had in my life. You know, same with the Usos, great people, and I'm so stoked that they're pushing Apollo. Right, that's a guy that needed a break, and he's knocking it out the park. He's so good at his character, so good at his role, you know, and it's exciting to see that now I can do a lot of things. You know, I'm happy. I'm glad that I'm able to go and start doing new things and you know, being able to create different things, because, you know, you guys have seen that vignette that I made on my Instagram account, right? I'm pretty sure some of you have seen that, where I, you know, the eye bleeding and stuff like that. Well, Wrestling Classic we did, but it wasn't live events. I wrestled him a ton of times on live events. Thank you. Roni, I don't know. All I knew is that the plan was for me and he to go at it, and that's it. That's all I knew. It was supposed to kick off this Friday, and here we are. That's as much as I know. Oh, thank you guys. Yeah, I try to remember my fans. Yeah, I would have loved to work against Bray. I think Bray's great. He's a guy that like fights really hard for all his stuff. You know, because they try to change everything about him continuously, but he's a dude that just like fights tooth and nail. You know, and like um, I'm just reading your comments. Don't worry, I'm still here. Yeah, the thing is like the promo that I did on Instagram was supposed to actually there was a moment where they actually wanted to like air that on TV. There was talks about and I said to him, I have it for you, you can take it, because it was a 1 minute vignette, like a story arc as to what happened after the eye got taken. And I kind of tied father in there already, saying like my father was right, I am a cool man, right? So that's kind of where it started, but they never bit down on it. But again, the consensus were, wow, this is so good, so creative, so awesome. And it just like gets worked against. There's a lot of like, waves into WWE. There's a lot of like if you've never been there, you can't imagine it. And that's another thing as well. Don't listen to these reporters that talk about oh, Aleister Black this, oh, Vince was never high enough. Like that's not true. That's not true at all. What murdered me was I think the 7 months at home. Was that? Oh, okay. Don't listen to them because they don't know anything. They don't have insiders. They have people that tell them warped stories. Like when like I think in the span of 7 months that I sat home, there were like 7 different reports. Vince that my NXT request got shot down. That's not true at all. Didn't get shot down at all. Actually, it got praised. I was actually like, that's a really good idea, but his thought was like, no, I just want to do it this way first, and then if it doesn't work out, I can always, put you back in NXT. Because I had a whole plan for that too, but it wasn't like shut down hard at all. No, not at all. Like, and this is the problem, right? They're not in those talks. They're not in those conversations. They don't know any of these people. Don't waste your money on it because it's like for the most part, it's a 5% truth, and they'll fabricate 95% around it just so that you click on it. It's just sad to see that this business has become like a tabloid thing, which I always think is so strange because why are you scamming people? Why are you feeding this like negative narrative continuously? Why are you? And I get it because negativity sells, but you also have to realize you have to be smarter than that system because I can guarantee you from being in that company and seeing some of these articles pop up, 95% of that was just fabricated. Or like there was a moment where apparently I remember Asuka leaving a live event and immediately it was like, oh, Asuka mad, stormed that live event. No, she was just done with her match. She just went to the next town. You can sensationalize anything you want. There was a story about that Lars Sullivan at one point was supposed to be in the NXT before me. It's never a thing. It's all just, NXT apparently not high in Aleister Black. No. The thing is, and it's frustrating because it puts us in a shit position because you as fans, and I don't blame you for the most part. Like that's the closest source of news that you have, but it's not a source of news. It's fabricated, and it's fabricated to make you think a certain way. It's programming your brain to oh, these mother effers, and a lot of times it's not right. Sure, there's times where where it's right, but I mean, a broken clock is right twice a day too, right? So and I was like the plans changed line. Yeah, that's like literally the biggest cop out in the world. As far as I'm concerned, I think I was spared for the most part. I think despite those things, I think there's clearly also good intent in some of them. But there's the thing is validating your sources and validating your stories versus just blatantly putting out stuff that harms people. Taking effect a couple weeks ago with my wife that harmed her so much. Nothing but hate comments and often it's all because someone was like, oh, sign up to my Patreon and I have news. But in reality, it wasn't news. there literally was no news. There was just, there was nothing, and it's like, it's the same people that all talk about being supportive and helping each other out and then doing stuff like that and don't realize the harm that they cause. And, I blame people like that for that. I just don't, I don't like that, um, and it doesn't have to be that way, like that's the same thing, because it does more harm than good. I am definitely planning a visit back to the Netherlands. What was my plan? So I sat down a couple times in Hunter as well, because I wanted to kind of like put the fire back on this character, and I did want to come back as a heel, and kind of like jump up from that angle and make sure that we can get the ball rolling, because at the end of the day, I love being in this business. I love everything, even despite what I just said. Like we need people like that to an extent. You know what I mean? Like, I love everything about this business. This business is absolutely great. It is the single best thing, alongside marrying my wife, that I've ever done in my life. Committing so much time to this. You know what I mean? And it's a process that not many people can understand. Like, because we are professional athletes, every essence of every part of what we do, every part of the road is is that of a professional. We have to train a certain way, eat a certain way, and I think for the most part, you guys see 2% of a road. You see us in the ring for 10, 15, if we're lucky, 20 minutes. You see a promo here, you see a promo there. You don't see us drive away. You don't see us walk backstage beaten up, sweating, getting feedback, sometimes getting yelled at, sometimes getting pats in the back, going to medical, getting yourself checked out, taking off your gear while you're hurting, taking a shower, everything hurts, your skin hurts, getting dressed up, going to your car, drive to the next town for 6-7 hours. The process repeats itself again. You come home for, you have a 5 a.m. flight after 3 or 4 days of wrestling. You have a 5 a.m. flight, you go back home, you're exhausted. But now you have to do your laundry. You have to do your normal things, bills piling up. You have to pay your bills. You have to do groceries. You have to hit the gym. You have to take care of yourself. Mom, dad's calling, family's reaching out to see if you're okay. You're trying to have some essence of a life. Then at the same time, you're working. I never stop working, even today. I've not stopped working. I'm always working. Whether that's, excuse me about that, month's coming up. Whether that is, clothing company, whether that is like, continuation, like obviously what we're doing here, it never stops. You're always, for 20 years, I've never not once not thought about wrestling. It literally consumes every aspect of my life. Currently thinking about like working on opening a wrestling school. And that was already in the process before, today. Trying to find places, trying to get all this stuff ready so that I can train. Because I'm 36, I have a good 10 years in it. Because I also have to think about, training the next generation of wrestlers, right? And I want that. I want to leave the wrestling business in a better spot, And it's it's something that I take great pride in. That I have a non-stop attitude. Like, I have, and I'm sure you've heard this. I've missed weddings, I've missed funerals, I've missed birthdays, I've missed my own birthday several times, because I'm always working. Whether that is in the ring, outside the ring, at home, working, on wrestling-related stuff, creating content, creating this, creating that. We're always busy, always busy. I just spoke to Terry Taylor, who is one of the most influential people on my career. In this business, he's one of the people that has, like, I consider him to be a mentor of mine. He labeled so many small details on me that you for the most part don't even realize. that I do. And like even talking to him and just giving me the advice, it's just a crazy thing to think about. Like how much time this takes away from you, and that's like when you. I've had moments where I don't really. I mean, I know you notice that I'm not the most active on social media. I'm not the most active on Twitter. I'm not the most active on Instagram. I'll post. I honestly, I rarely look at comments nowadays. Rarely, just because it's. But I think about like 6-7 months ago, there was a moment where someone went off, and I was like, well, I'm gonna pay for your flight. Come here, hang out with me for like 3 days. You'll go home screaming because the work that we put in is unimaginable. I'm not just talking about like wrestling training or like gym training, because it's so much more than that. You're always on the go. So I think for the most part, you as a fan base, you appreciate what we do, you appreciate who we are, and that's the group that we focus on, and that's the group that I'm so thankful for. It's a strange world and strange society that we live in nowadays with how people view things, and especially this last year with like being a lockdown. I think too many people have too much time in their hands and they're so continuously focused, and it also proves to you that a lot of people just don't have goals or like ways in their life because they have a focus on all the wrong things, and I mean it's from a good place. Where like I hope that each and every one of you figures out what they want to do in life. Don't get stuck on the internet. Don't get stuck on Instagram or like falling for what social media claims it to be, because it's not. The only person that's responsible for any type of career or any type of thing that you'll do in your life is you, right? You don't want to like wake up 20, 30 years from now going, why did crap did I spend so much time arguing with people on the internet or getting so absorbed in shit that doesn't fucking matter? I just hope that you guys, you guys know that, and go continue with that, because I hope each and every one of you knows that like your potential in this world is like unlimited, right? Which is great, and it's difficult to go from from being stuck in a position to like finding something. That's very difficult. I know how that feels. One second, guys. I just got Here we go. Boom, and we're back. Just gonna check something. No, you guys are fine. Just don't. The internet's not real. It's not a real place. Has it integrated into our society? Unfortunately, yes. But it also made sure that people that think that they can read Google or type shit in Google or read Wikipedia have more of an understanding than academic scholars, which is crazy. I follow this this Twitter page called Bad Legal Takes. You should read it. It's really funny. The amount of people that think that they actually understand like the law and stuff. And the thing is, like, I don't understand the law for a lot of like an official, other than like my basic what you can and cannot do, but like the in-depth idea of the law, the way that a lawyer understands it, like of course I don't. So it's funny to see people like saying the dumbest things. But I feel like unfortunately that's a lot in our society nowadays. There's a lot of people just saying stuff, and I think it'd be better if Twitter decides, hey, let's just delete Twitter altogether. But I'm sure something else will pop up. So, it's a very different world, and I hope that now that like the COVID restrictions have been lifted and people are able to go back outside a little bit, I hope that eases out the people kind of like, leave their phones behind and walk around and like, make something of all this stuff. So, I do not own the Alistair Black character. I do not. Stipulation. I've always wanted to do the elimination chamber. I always thought the concept of the elimination chamber was very cool. Very cool. I'm sure at some point, depending on how this is gonna go and how this is gonna roll, I would love to, travel back a little bit more to Europe and, But guys, it's been 5 hours, so I don't know. All I know is that I've had a tremendous 5 years, and I'm very thankful for Hunter, Vince, and our creative staff, Mrs. McMahon too. It was great. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be angry about it, and I'm not gonna be like bummed out about it. I owe a lot to them. I owe a lot to WWE. Again, if it wasn't for WWE, we wouldn't be having this like conversation with like more than 8,000 people here hanging out, right? It's so easy to be negative, and I don't want to. I don't want to be negative. The Wooden Creek. No, I didn't hate it. It was, it was just an addition. It's the vision of someone else, and that's fine. Absolutely okay with it. Yeah, absolutely, Morgan. The WWE platform is great, and once you're in the system, it's awesome. Make good use of it.
And
Lickham 105. Yeah, I'd say absolutely. That's definitely one of the best things that come out of being a beast, meeting my wife. Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. That's another reason why I don't I'm not bitter, I'm not angry at all. I think I've had a great time. And you never know what happens in the future. No one knows. Where the things have happened, but right now, I think however the roads will lead, it's going to be a fun ride. Absolutely. Yeah, you got to be positive, man. Is there stuff to be angry about? Of course, but does that matter? No. But that's with every job. You're never going to be 100% satisfied with anything in life. Fuck, Yeah, absolutely. So, what is it? It is the June 2nd. Oh, 1 second. I gotta. Un momento. So June 2nd. So I'd be back around in September. Am I correct saying that? Is it September? Oh, D Rankin. Wow. Thanks, bro. Damn, you guys are going wild today. Hey, who knows, man? I would love to wrestle Andrade again. That dude is one talented motherfucker. Oh, there we go. Guys at the same time. My phone is just blowing up in the best of ways. Because I'm also working at the same time. Even right now, I am working. So if you don't mind, we just hang out together. Is that okay? If we just hang out together? So other than like, WWE, I have to give thanks to like my gear makers. Sinsik and Hannah, my guy from Global Wrestling Wear. I love him. I just got a bunch of new gear that was actually going to debut. It's crazy to think what I was able to create, right? And again, it was even with my cuffs on. Funny story. There was a moment where I was actually supposed to win. I think it was the U.S. title. I think. Huh? Yeah. But then Vince's consensus were, I don't want to have him have his first title win in front of no audience. So there was always good stuff going on. Like there's a lot of good stories and a lot of like almost happened moments. So I can't be negative, man. Oh yeah, sure. There's a lot of people who get out to me. Absolutely. Closer to the mic. No, I'm sitting too far away from the mic. You're definitely gonna get King and dwell on things again. Yeah. ASMR by Tommy. I honestly, Cage, I don't know the process in that. I would assume so. I don't know, but a lot of the times it's also just like, the company itself that just says, hey, this, that. And I think just me being at home for 7 months without any television is the thing that killed me. I was supposed to only be gone for 6 to 8 weeks. But you can't control what happens. You just can't. The other releases, I was kind of shocked that they let Braun go. He was he done a lot of stuff. Ruby, I was bummed out about. I mean, I'm bummed out about everyone. Some of them that got released never really had a shot at anything. I think Lana's gonna be fine. Lana is she's gonna be fine. She's got such a crazy personality. She's gonna always be fine. September 2? Okay. Jeez, guys, monster. Jeez, excuse me. No, there was no reason why they only used Brandon. They didn't. Yeah, that's crazy, right? I mean, I remember when Billy Kay got released, and she was a Mania 3 days before, and it was like, whoa, crazy. So, what sucks? We just created the new song for Aleister Black, and I just realized that now. You guys didn't get to hear it. The new song was the best one so far. But I'll tell you a good story. No Man's Land was actually done by Brutality Will Prevail, the original version, but we couldn't get the audio rights. I own the audio rights, so at least when I come back, I will have one of my own songs. No, so I actually had a different, so that song that we made was based on another song. And me and Neil created this new song, and I'm sure they'll use it on someone else, but it sucks because it was my song, and I had a hand in creating it, writing it. But yeah, it was the new song was probably my favorite song. It was awesome. It had piano in it, everything, violence. It was almost like orchestra, almost, and it had the old riff from the first song in there. Pure Mornings. No, I don't think I'll bring that character with me. Aesthetically, I've always had that kind of aesthetic. That's obviously why I got signed as well. That's what I do. But I will 100% make different things now, and come up with some different ways of doing stuff and fabricating different things. And it's going to give me some time to get to, like, time to get to some stuff. There we go, guys. I think I've said it for an hour. I appreciate all you guys for your, for your time, your questions. Like I said, I'm very thankful for all of you. I'm very thankful for WWE. I'm very thankful for the communication I've had, for all the context I've had, for the training I've received. Everyone from Coach Bloom to Terry Taylor, the Hunter, Shawn Michaels, getting to talk to people like Ric Flair and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and getting feedback from The Undertaker. That was a big thing for me. Always getting praise on my style from him and my selling, which is crazy for me. It's a shame that it had to go this way. Please keep watching my friends who are still in the WWE. They deserve your attention. Everybody tries really hard. I can't explain to you guys how hard people try in that company. And whatever sticks, whatever doesn't. Don't fight on it too much. There's a whole world out there for everyone to watch. Oh, thank you, Drunken James Bond. I appreciate that, dude. Thank you, brother. And, from now on, I'm going to probably be back more on this place. I'm going to play some video games, hang out, and I'll keep you guys in the loop. I hope you guys enjoyed what I've done in WWE. I've enjoyed having you with me on this ride. Thank you guys so much, and I hope that you guys come back in maybe tomorrow, maybe in 2 days. It's going to take some time to figure some things out, get my thoughts aligned, because eventually, obviously, it's going to come down crashing. I'm hopeful. I'm positive. I have a lot of things in the work already that I luckily had before I got released. So, yeah, guys, thank you so much. I'll see you guys very, very soon.
Well, guys, you heard it from Aleister Black. He's not agitated. He's not bothered by WWE's recent decision. He's not agitated. He's not bothered by. I just need to cut off my live on my phone. I was just kind of watching it at the same time from my phone. So Aleister Black is not bothered by his recent release. He knows and understands that, some things didn't work out. I just feel like, again, he can't be in his position as a performer. Again, if you guys are checking this out right now, live on Facebook, live on YouTube, give us a thumbs up, give us a comment in the comment section below. We had a few comments dropping in the comment section below concerning, Aleister Black. In his recent release. We haven't heard from Braun yet. Hopefully Braun goes live on Twitch when Braun goes live. hopefully we're available for that. And even if he does it, later on, and it's posted somewhere, we'll post it up. Watch Braun's live Twitch response. We should have did the same thing with Miro and any other WWE performer that was released, so that we can hear from them themselves and let them get their perspective. But I think a lot of these performers don't really have a position to really. I mean, it doesn't really work out for them to be disgruntled. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially when you're released from a company that you really want to work for, and this is a company that definitely has monopoly on wrestling. And then also him in his position, he doesn't want to. And Aleister Black, with so much grace and so much poise, came on alive and really spoke about how he doesn't want to be angry or frustrated about his release. He's going to keep on moving forward with his wrestling career. Hopefully, potentially getting another break in WWE, which is a good thing, and that's what you want to do. Like, you don't want to burn any bridges. You don't want to destroy any, relationships, with a company that, definitely holds the keys for your future. And then also, on the other hand, he also expressed that there was a lot of creative things that happened backstage as to how his character was developed, how it was handled, and that a lot of the decisions that were made, he never kind of really went into who really actually made those decisions, but you can tell that, Vince had a hand in it, and that when he was able to do the things that he wanted to do that really worked for us, he was able to do. And he talked about the development of his character, but pretty much he gave a great perspective on his character, how it was built, how it was developed, how creative handled it, how he had support from people in the locker room, especially from Bruce Pritchard, from The Undertaker, from Roman, how Roman, the Usos. He also spoke about Terry Taylor, formerly known as the Red Rooster. So he really gave a great interview, a great perspective, and he doesn't want to leave any negative energy out in the air, any negative karma, especially concerning his release. And I really respect that. I really like that. I really respect that because, again, he wants to go back there. He wants to be back there as well as a lot of other performers. So, again, I still, as I watch the interview, and a lot of you guys have seen it as you guys been watching, tuning in, checking it out. And as you guys know about the recent release with Aleister Black and Braun, again, we're still puzzled in our minds and still trying to figure out like what happened. Like still in all, as we're watching the show and as they're developing the show, what's going wrong? Like why aren't certain wrestlers being pushed a certain way? Why aren't certain characters and certain gimmicks being pushed a certain way? Like what's stopping them from doing these angles, or what's stopping them from pushing this character? What's stopping them from putting this title on this performer? And these are questions that we still don't have any defining answers to. And we can only leave that to Vince McMahon. I wish Vince McMahon would do a live. I wish Vince McMahon would, come on and kind of discuss, the decisions that he makes and kind of give us clear understanding. Like if it's lawsuits that are involved, if it's public protests with certain people who are writing letters or have some kind of issue with their character that may not make the company look well or look good in a certain light, that they can't push this character, like let us know. Like Aleister Black even talked about his tattoos and talked about how people were associating him with the Illuminati, how people were talking about the swirl on his arm, how it's linked to pedophilia, and how they were talking about certain things on his character, like stuff I didn't know that they were talking about. Like even when I seen Aleister character and I seen all the tattoos, I seen the tattoo of Lilith on his back, and knowing that his character really dealt with dealt with a lot of occultism, I should say. He had a lot of occultism symbols on him. Like I understood that that's possibly some things that he was into. I assumed he was an atheist. Usually people who are really into occultism symbols and deal with the eye of Horus and deal with who have different types of occult symbols. They usually like are atheists, you know, and they ascribe to those occult symbols because they don't really take them that literal. Sometimes they just take them as good omens. You know, some do, some don't. You know, but nonetheless, I wasn't really trying to go that deep into what his spiritual beliefs were. I just really liked the character. I was just really just being respectful of just the character and just liking the character for what it was, and just liking it for what it was. And he spoke about how, like, you know, there were letters and out there were things that were spoken online about his character and people went on about it, but it was never really a big thing. I never really heard about it being a big thing in the wrestling community. You know, I know people look and they speculate and they have their views and so forth, but you know, whatever. But I don't think that it was even a reason why they even, you know, kind of suppressed his character or held him back on his character. But again, you know, the question still remains, like, why is Aleister Black being released when he's over with the fans? Why is Braun Strowman being released when he's over with the fans? Why are, you know, wrestlers like Buddy Murphy, who has the support and the backing of the WWE universe, are being released? Like why is this happening? Like what is the point of this? Like why are we getting this? Like why are we investing? And the thing about it is, why are we investing our time? We could be doing other things. We could be playing video games. You know, we could be out partying. We could be out socializing. We could be out working a second job, third job, you know, doing other things, shopping. But we decide, you know, on these Mondays and these Fridays and these Tuesdays, you know, to invest in these performers. And then we look at, and then you have a Tuesday night, right, where we look at NXT and we look at these performers who's supposed to be the next big performers, and they get pushed and handled so well at NXT. And then when they get to the main roster, for some reason, there's this big roadblock, right, that gets introduced to their characters. And we don't know why. We try to understand why. Like, why is it WWE makes these decisions? You know, we don't understand. I'm gonna hit the comment section below. Ethan Wick says I'm late. Sean Key says, okay, I'm back. Vince is old and it's time to walk away. I agree. Ethan says, never cross paths on the internet with people complaining about his tattoos. Yeah, me either. I never, but it's funny because Aleister mentioned it. Aleister mentioned it in the live. So, you know, of course, you know, when the live ends, you guys can go back, you guys can, you know, view it. You know, me and Jay, we talk a little bit about, you know, just our frustrations or just our concerns. Of course, we vocalize this, you know, numerous times during the live, but you can listen to Aleister Black as he gives you his take. And then also, I believe the whole stream of Aleister Black talking from beginning to end about exactly what happened, because we didn't catch it at the beginning because he was live. We caught it at the end, or like in the middle to the end. So where he really talks about, you know, just, you know, his feelings toward WWE, the creation of his character, what he plans on doing next, and he answers some questions from the fans. And he even talks about NXT. He talks about how there were plans for him to go back to NXT and how Vince was in agreement with it, but Vince wanted to continue to push his character, and somehow, some way, his character got lost in the shuffle and it didn't work out for his character. Don't know why. Doesn't make any sense to me how that happened, but it happened. Sean Key says it's something behind the scenes we don't know, and until they speak aloud about it, we don't know it. Like, and that's the other thing too. Ethan Wick says he was really respectful, and I respect that about him. Yeah, absolutely. I respect his dust yourself off, pick yourself up, and go forward. I respect that. You know, I respect it. You know, kudos to him, you know, for having an optimistic approach to it. Miro just was straightforward with it. He was like, you can take your brass ring and you can shove it up your, you know, because again, you know, I respect, you know, again, Aleister Black is not bringing any bad karma to him, but again, it doesn't make sense to us. We know that there is more they could have done for his character. we know they could have pushed some things out of the way. They could have moved some things out of the way and made room for his character. You know, they could have done so much more. And I think this is one of the reasons why, like, you know, again, if you have so much good talent, and then you have like, you know, shows like Main Event, that if you would have built Main Event like you built up Raw and built up SmackDown, wrestlers like him could have went to Main Event and could have been a mainstay on Main Event. You could have created a title for Main Event. You know what I'm saying? And you could have had Aleister Black and Miro and, you know, and Braun Strowman and all other wrestlers you felt weren't working on Raw and SmackDown going Main Event to kind of build up that show. You know, and they probably did. They probably had them on Main Event, but nobody was watching Main Event because Main Event has never been built up to the caliber of SmackDown and Raw. Because you never had anything big happen on Main Event since the 80s. Like, you know, since Hogan was on it. Hogan and Macho Man and Perfect and all those other guys. So again, you know, and NXT has managed to build itself up to the caliber of Raw and SmackDown, to the point that NXT is better than Raw and SmackDown. You know, and you have your biggest superstars there. It's sad to me. You know, it's really sad to me. And again, it still doesn't make sense, because now when we look at SmackDown, we're going to be saying to ourselves, okay, how are they going to manage to handle this show? How are they going to, like what kind of show are we going to be in for, right? We could have had Aleister Black, but what are we going to get, right? What kind of foolishness are they going to allow us to see or going to put in front of us? Like, what are we going to see? So, you know, again, if a SmackDown fails to reach the mark of being an entertaining show, you know, if SmackDown, you know, fails to be an entertaining show, part of the reason why is because you don't have guys like him on it. You know, again, we're not watching the same thing. What we see and what Vince sees, what Vince expects based on what he gives us, we're not getting the same thing. We're not. You know, Ethan Wick says, sucks when you're naturally over and they do things to bury you. So I can see why Miro was frustrated. Exactly. When Aleister Black goes into like the creation of his character and what his character is supposed to be, it was actually pretty dope. Can't even lie. Like, his character was supposed to be based on Lucifer, Lucifer's fall, and his take was, what if Lucifer fell from Earth and he had a memory loss in falling from Earth? Like what would that look like? And that was pretty much you know, his take on the Aleister Black character. Like, if Lucifer fell from Earth and he lost his memory, like, you know, this is like, how would he respond? Like, how would he be? And he was saying that in the character, like, the more the angrier the character got, the more he would look like a demon, and he would start to come into himself a little bit more. And that's why he had like the fleshly padding and stuff. And I thought that was pretty interesting take. Again, you had the Undertaker, who was supposed to be the dead man, you know, the dead man, the guy who carries you to the underworld, you know, the Lord of the Underworld. Like, so he was a dark character, like the Fiend, you know, and it was an awesome take. And I never understood, like, you know, what was his take on Aleister Black, but knowing that was like interesting, like, this is an interesting concept, like, you know. So, you know, again, where do we go from here with WWE? Where do we go from here? Like, a lot of fans are losing heart in WWE. We're looking to other promotions such as AEW to fulfill our need of proper consideration for the characters that we love and that we've taken love into. And that's the thing. That's the thing that AEW is really promoting, is that when you love a character and the character's over, and you support a character and the character's, you know, good with the fans, we're going to push them, you know, apart from the politics. And I believe that this is what they're trying to produce and trying to show. And this is what AEW, I believe, is trying to show, that WWE is lacking. So where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Because a lot of fans are losing heart in WWE, and it's becoming like a sad day. Versus us actually celebrating Aleister Black's Intercontinental win, we celebrate his. We're not celebrate, but we're sad about his departure. Braun Strowman again. Well, I think everything that needs to be said is being said. So, we have SmackDown that's coming up. We'll see what happens with SmackDown. We'll see what's going to go on with SmackDown. We're going to see what's going to happen with SmackDown. And we'll just see. I don't know, man. But anyway, again, you guys are catching us live. Give us a thumbs up. If you catch us live on Facebook, give us a heart. Give us a thumbs up. Drop a comment in the comment section below. You guys are catching us live on Facebook. I'm sorry, live on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe. If you're newly watching our channel, this is me signing out. Saheem the Dream. Also, on behalf of J Mag Main, he had to go. We're signing out. This wraps up our show for today. But it's a very sad show. You know what I'm saying? Very emotional one. To see great talent to be released in WWE. Say you have nothing for them when we have people like Drew McIntyre getting 2 matches in one night. Yeah. It's like you could have saved that slot for somebody else. We don't need to see Drew McIntyre 5 times out of the night. Seriously, like you're overdoing it with this guy, man. But anyways, it's been real. Thank you guys for joining us. We definitely appreciate you guys' love and support. We appreciate you guys dropping comments in the comment section below. We appreciate you guys chopping it up with us in the Wrestling Talks and Thoughts group chat on Facebook. We appreciate you guys supporting the page, dropping content on the page, on the Facebook page and the Facebook group. We definitely appreciate you guys' love and support, and we enjoy talking wrestling with you guys. Again, this platform is made for you guys to come on, voice your opinion, voice your views, so that we can talk and discuss, what's going on, how you guys feel. We love wrestling just as much as you guys do, and we enjoy talking with you guys. Again, I'm signing out, Saheem the Dream, and on behalf of J Mac Main, we will see you guys later. Peace.